Welcome, Orla. It's great to have you here. Is this your first podcast? One of your first ones? Or have you done a podcast in a while?
I've done podcasts before with SideQuest.
Okay. This is our first time chatting.
Yeah, I've never done a podcast in person. So that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, usually they're all online.
Here we go. It's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's going to be better. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about your story, a little bit about Founder Labs, and just some advice for founders that are listening. Mm-hmm. So let's start. So we're living in Spain.
Yeah.
We're back here. Mm-hmm. Why?
Because it was a good opportunity to give back. When Ian kind of offered for me to come in and sort of pay forward what I had learned running my company. So yeah, it's a good excuse to kind of get on a plane and come home.
Even in the terrible weather.
It's terrible weather in Spain as well, so we're okay.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
A lot of weather warnings this last while and 90-kilometre winds, so
nice, okay.
Different.
Well, Belfast is better then.
Yeah, not as windy.
For now. Okay, so also know you're 4 dogs, lover of all things dogs, so am I. Mm-hmm. Is it not chaos in your house back home?
No, they're all very chill.
Yeah?
I would have more, except I'd have to get like a zoo license or something apparently in Spain. So I think I'm just going to get some chickens next.
Nice. What are they? Where are they? Whenever you're over here,
I have lots of very helpful friends who stay at my house and mind them for me. So
oh, nice.
Been lucky.
Nice. And you also used to be in a band.
Way back in the day.
And now we're tinkering with some AI stuff to make some songs.
Yeah.
Fun?
Yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical at first, but I have to say, like, I'm impressed with like what the output is, and it's just made me think a little bit differently. And I've been talking to some like musician friends as well from back in the day who I thought would be, same as me, and yeah, we just see it as a tool now, just like auto-tune. So I feel a bit more comfortable playing around with it.
Nice. What are you using?
Suno.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like distributing through DistroKid, and then that puts it out to all the platforms.
Love it.
But I'm not telling you what my name is.
When we get to sing later, it's fine.
Nope.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about kind of origin story and move towards kind of Founder Labs and giving back now. So SideQuest raised a lot of cash.
16 million.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Though it is. Did you ever think you would do that?
No. I'm glad I did, but I don't know if I would do it again. Like, it was stressful, but yeah, it was definitely an interesting journey.
I remember actually, I think we did one mentoring session together in Ignite way back in the day. And I remember thinking, Orla knows exactly what she's doing. She does not need my help. She's fine.
That's funny because that's the reason I did Ignite, because I didn't even know what venture capital was. I think, sometimes you just have to fake it till you make it a little bit. But no, I was very lucky getting on the Ignite program and meeting a lot of cool people. And that was the beginning of me like actually growing a network into that kind of startup space and really starting to understand what exactly it was. And then off the back, raising 3 rounds in 3 years and growing the business to like 2 million users.
We'll dig into the investment stuff in a little bit, but how does it feel to obviously go through a program, raise a lot of cash, and then be on the other side now doing Founder Labs as the MD?
It feels really good. I think it's really important that founders go through that process. I mean, obviously, if you're lucky enough to continue to run your company, that's great. But for most people, they either set it up, it doesn't work, or they set it up and sell it, or whatever it might be, and they find themselves in this in-between space where you're not necessarily going to want to just jump back in 2 feet first into the chaos. But you need to download all the information that's in your brain. And so it's been really like cathartic for me, really like good therapy, to be honest with you. Even though it's a bit crazy at times when you're like trying to manage like 10 teams and whatever. But no, I've really, really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to doing it again.
Why, I want to stay on the Ignite piece because it's interesting actually. Why did you feel you needed an accelerator?
Like I said, I come from a very traditional working background. I'd always worked for like bootstrap startups. I'd done lettings and office management and serviced offices and self-storage. Like I had this really the business makes money, put the money back in, that's how you grow the business kind of mentality. I didn't really understand risk. And so when my company was sort of hitting crazy numbers, like 200,000 users, those traditional methods couldn't work, and we needed to scale much faster than that. So venture capital was what people were telling me I needed to do, and I didn't know what that meant. I just thought it was like you get a loan and then you pay it back, you know. So I remember someone saying, I know who you need to talk to. It's like Ian Brown. And they gave me his phone number, and I walked out of their office, phoned Ian and said, I'm in Belfast, I need to talk to you. And he said, come round to the Baths. And that was the beginning. And I told him everything. I just downloaded everything. And Ian was like, oh dear God, if you don't get some like education around this, you could end up, you know, in trouble. So we gotta get you on one of these programs. So. And
who talk us through who invests in you guys? And how did you get to them actually as well? Like, because you run a pretty strict process when you were doing that.
Well, of course, the first round is like, it's a bit of a free-for-all, right? You don't really know what you're doing. But we were very lucky because we were in the VR space, that there were very few investors who were investing in that space. So it sort of made it easier to identify. And we had connected with some people stateside, and they had introed us into Boost VC, which was the top investor in VR and crypto and stuff at the time. And we were very, very fortunate that those early conversations with those guys went really well, and they put a 500K check in. But at that time, because our platform was getting so big and popular, we were talking to a few other VR investors, and one of them was friends with Palmer Luckey, who was the godfather of like the Oculus, sold it to Facebook, had then subsequently left Facebook and kind of gone into like defense. And we just got a message one day saying Palmer wants to chat.
How did that feel? That's insane.
I can't tell you how much Shane and I talked before that call. Don't do this, say this. So if he says this, you say this. Like, we really, really like strategized about like this call. And in the end, like, Palmer had pulled over on the side of a highway on his way to San Francisco or something. Was just sitting in his car, like having a chat with us, and was like, yeah, I'm going to put some money in, you know. So that round went from being like 500K to like having some additional angels and a lot of support around that. And yeah, so then we went on to the Boost VC Accelerator, which was a little bit different from Ignite.
I actually didn't know you did that accelerator.
Yeah, I did that accelerator as well off the back of Ignite. And it was just a different approach because it was like Americanized, right? It was like, and those guys do not hold back, right? It was, you got to think bigger, you got to be better, you got to be braver.
Yeah.
And it was quite transformative as well. And then, basically then another round. We were very popular because we were growing and we were, so we had a lot of inbound and stuff. So it's not as a typical path that most founders have to take. But yeah, we got a seed round off the back of it. And
when did our friend come into Carmen?
I met Carmen on the Ignite program. Now obviously, you know, it's probably relevant to say that my program was during lockdown.
Yes.
We came in here for photographs, and 2 days later, lockdown happened. So it was a bit crazy
it's
because
weird doing a virtual program.
No one had run a virtual program. There was not the plan.
It's weird.
So it was a bit chaotic. I mean, it was good for me because then you're working from home. There's less disruption. But I remember we did Mentor Madness or VC Madness, and there was 10 VCs in 15 minutes, and it was like Zoom calls and, you know, frantic. You know, you're just getting whipped out of a room and into another room and whatever. You're halfway through a conversation, and I met Carmen, and at that time she was with Sami Piata in Spain, and we just really locked in on one another. And she went away actually from that, did a load of homework, and reconnected with me after and asked if she could help. Because she seen me as like a strong female founder, and then she was really interested in the space, and she'd done some homework, and it really gave me a lot of faith in why she wanted to help as well. And yeah, she helped me pull that first round together, and then was there for every round after, and then went on to set up her own fund, Cocoa, and then came in on like my future rounds. So she's still a friend to this day. It's invaluable to have someone champion you.
Yeah, she's incredible.
And, you know, to have someone on a WhatsApp channel that you can just be like, what do I do now? They said this. What does this mean? Yeah. Can you show me how cap tables work? Like, it was really quite intense. Yeah. and I couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, she's amazing and helps us with our program now.
She does help us with our program.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's pick up some of the things on the investment side, then we'll go into Founder Labs. So what were some of the biggest things that you learned going through that process, like the actual fundraising process? Like, it was obviously first time doing it.
Yeah.
Like, if you look back, what are some of those things that went horribly wrong? What are some of those things that went really well? Because I remember you were able to rally people really, really well and create that sense of FOMO. But talk us through the good and the bad.
I think in the very, very first round, we were just so green, and we didn't have anyone at that stage to say, these are the things to look out for. So some of our inbound maybe was coming in and we were thinking, oh, wow, this is great. People want to give us money.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what any of the red flags were. So we were spending a lot of time on calls with a lot of people, probably giving away like too much information for them to turn around and go, oh, like I can only put like 5K in or whatever, So there was a lot of like time wasting in that regard. So when I went on to do future rounds, I learned how to run much tighter processes and identify if someone was kicking tires or looking for information or whatever it might have been. So, but yeah, the first process, that's kind of part of it at pre-seed. Like if people are telling you, hey, be careful, like please listen, because they're not doing it to like harm you. They're doing it because they know that there's people out there that will take advantage. And when I came in to see Ian, I had people that I was talking to out in San Francisco that were willing to put money in, and we had a term sheet, and Ian was like, this is terrible.
Can you tell us why?
It was just really, it wasn't very much money. They ring fenced some of the money for like what they wanted, and then they kept saying like, and then we'll do this, and then we'll set up another company and we'll own that with you. And I was like, wait a minute, no, it's our company.
Yeah, of course.
So there was just like certain things that weren't sitting right. So I was glad I got speaking to Ian, and I just shut that down. And then, went on to just do a stronger round in the sense that it took us out of Belfast, took us into the Bay Area with Boost VC, getting Palmer lucky. It was just a different kind of round. And had I not gone out and said, I have a weird feeling about this, I need help, had I just done it, I'd have been sitting with these two investors that I didn't quite trust.
Yeah.
With very little money. And God knows if I would have still had a company within a year of it. So, there's definitely a lot in asking for help. And even if you don't get on Founder Labs or you don't get on the pre-accelerator or whatever it might be, like if you're talking about taking investment, please just come and like talk to us. Like people who have done it before, just go and talk to them and be like, does this seem right?
Yeah.
Because sadly it is one of those things, like money makes the world go round, and some people want to have a bigger slice of the pie. So
it's a very difficult thing to navigate for the first time, when there's so many different types of investors out there doing different things, and we can be that sounding board. So anyone that listens to this, they can come and have a conversation. You don't have to be on the programs. So let's switch to the program.
Yeah.
So we're now AMD of Founder Labs. We have been through you've done your third cohort, so the third one there, which was your first. How did that go? How did that feel, being kind of in charge of it and setting everything up? And how did it feel?
It was terrifying at the start because there's a little bit of like, hey, am I the right person to do this? How am I supposed to like teach people? I've just done my thing for my company. How does that translate?
Yeah.
But I learned very quickly out of the gate that there's a lot of transferable stuff. And a lot of it is just being able to take a step back and look at things logically and scientifically in some cases, like all of these things are an experiment. And I just really connected with the cohort, and they all really connected with each other. And I felt a real sense of purpose and drive from that. And as we just continued to deliver the program, it was a really nice feeling. And then coming out the other end of it to see the teams like still sitting there in the office working together, it's it's good.
But how did it feel, sitting down with a company? Like you said, it was terrifying, giving back and kind of getting back into that mindset, like sitting and saying advice and actually doing it and speaking to people. That must have been very strange.
It was. Like, who am I to be telling you this? But no, honestly, I think the proof's in the pudding, right? If I was given bad advice, it would have been obvious.
Yeah.
And as you know, we all give a slightly different angle on our advice. So everybody's well versed in that, like, you can take it or leave it. If it's not right for you, that's fine. I'm not going to get everything right. I mean, some of these folks have like domain experience of 20 years. What do I know?
Yeah.
I just know like it from this angle. So I think once the team got used to me and I got used to them, it was like easy to give advice, knowing that they could take it or leave it.
What was your favorite thing about the cohort?
Just the sense of like family that came with it. It was
Like that.
It felt different from when I was EIR in the other program, because I was removed and I was only meeting with the teams like once a week.
Yeah.
Whereas this time I was there like all day, every day, seeing the dynamic in the office, going on the trips. And I absolutely loved that they all had each other's backs and they learned about each other's companies. And when they were networking, they were like crossing it, like, oh, that's not for me, but let me just bring you over here and introduce you to like this person. And I just absolutely loved watching those guys work a room, like taking on board everything that we had taught them about network and community and connection, and just going ahead and doing it. And I was like, I don't even know if I would have done that back whenever I was on my cohort. Well, I didn't get the opportunity because of lockdown, but it was really empowering to see them feeling so empowered as well. Like,
They're class.
Yep.
They're a great cohort,
Yep.
so they are.
Amazing.
So in Founder Labs, we go through different stages. We do customer discovery. We do, go through narrative, business model, anything that the companies need kind of support with. What do you think are the most important things that you've kind of seen when companies are coming on? Because some of them had, MVPs, some of them were just ideas. So they were kind of all different stages. So what do you think are some of the most kind of fundamental, important things that we kind of went through that we can kind of share?
I think having done that program and knowing what I know now, I will change things around a little bit going into the next one. And that's because I realized the true order of these things, and that it is the customer first. So the customer discovery piece needs to come up front and center. And I think, sometimes there's an illusion that you come on an accelerator and we build it for you, or we get the customers for you. And that's not what we're here to do. We're here to teach you how to do those things so that you get the skill. So that's something that I would want to move up front and center. And then that idea of experimentation, like, this is an experiment. You need to set out with a set of like questions that you want to ask or solve, and continually be questioning and asking your customers. And it's actually your customer that decides how the product's going to be built. You don't build first and then ask the customer. So I think that was one of the things that I learned. And it was sort of a penny drop for me too, because I would have always presumed I need to have a demo or something like perfected before I go out.
Everybody does.
Before I embarrass myself by giving this to someone. And then I was like, now I'm like, get the absolute worst, most functional, awful looking thing you can in front of a customer and give feedback as soon as possible. So knowing that now, the next program, customer will be right up front. And that sales piece will be right up front, and then we'll look at like product and finance and everything else after.
Yeah, I think that's vital, because everyone does go, oh, I've got this shiny thing, let's show it to everyone. Then they're like, oh, they don't want it. And then we're screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
So they all do that. Okay, so let's talk about cohort 4. So applications are at the moment, they're open, starting the second week in April. For applications that are coming through, what are those kind of things that you want to see from teams? What are those kind of signals that's like, okay, wow, this is pretty awesome?
I think, as we see every time, there's a misunderstanding of what the problem is and what the solution is. And sometimes people repeat that and they don't actually hone in on what the sort of quantifiable size of the problem.
Yes.
They maybe zone in on the sort of social side or the cultural side, or the feeling side, as opposed to saying, this is how big this problem is and the scale of the problem. And then when they talk about solutions, sometimes they talk about like the very end piece of the solution, like this product will be great and everyone will be happy and everything will be solved. But they don't talk about like the tech element of like how that all happens, the mechanics to get to that point. So I think it's really important to have really showing the scale and of the problem, but then also showing like the tech-led solution. Like, this is a product-led program.
Yeah.
It's not typically a good fit for like retail or like service industries or consultancies that are people-led with add-on tech, but this is like tech-led solutions. So if you're not covering that in your application, then you need to go back and fix it.
Yeah, we did obviously a lot of office hours and spoke to a lot of founders, and there's a lot of subjective comments about problems saying this saves this bit of time or this saves this little bit of stress or whatever. But exactly as you said, there's no tied to metrics or anything.
Yeah. I don't want to know about time unless you tell me it's X amount of days or X amount of years.
Or cost X or whatever.
Cost X. Like, I want to know, like, if you're telling me you're going to fix this problem for garden centres, well, how many garden centres are there across, and how are we crossing borders here? Like, what's the scale?
Yeah.
So I think that's just a piece that everyone kind of, I think, just downloads what they think the problem is, and they don't actually go, oh, I should do some market research here and actually quantify it and back it up.
So when does a founder, so like we've spoke to a lot of founders again on the office hours, how do we, or what advice would you give to someone saying it's the right time to do an accelerator? Because sometimes it's not, and like, you know, accelerator might be a distraction or whatnot. Like, what is that kind of moment for someone to think about, I should do Founder Labs?
The right time is that you have space in your life, in your personal life and in your business life, that you can be distracted. You could be sitting in on things, learning things, and that you're at a time in your project that you can go away and implement the things you've learned. So if we're doing a workshop on customer discovery, if you're not going away that evening and going like, oh my God, I can't believe what I just learned, I need to do this right now, and coming back to me the next morning and go, wow, it worked, then you're not really getting value from the program. If you're sitting in on workshops and you're distracted by your phone or your laptop, or you're half asleep because you were up all last night or whatever, like, it's not the right time. If you want to do this, we want you to be teachable. We want you to be able to actually put into practice the things that are being taught, because in order for it to accelerate you, that's what you have to do. If you just sit in and half listen and half do and just turn up for the sake of it, like, you won't get the acceleration out the other end, and you'll be wondering what the point was.
No, exactly.
We're not here to like coast. We're here to like drive. And that we do apply the pressure sometimes. We're like, why haven't you done this? Like, I don't want to be a school teacher, but I get mad sometimes because I'm like, do you need me to be a school teacher? How do we get this done? It has to get done.
And I do want to get you mad.
What are you talking about?
So that ties quite nicely into kind of the ambition piece. So we obviously took the teams to New York. And we met a lot of founders and a lot of investors. You know, that's part of the program to get them outside of Northern Ireland. You obviously experienced, you know, speaking to a lot of investors in the past and being in that kind of mindset. How important is it?
Well, let me just tell you, when I went to New York, I wasn't going to have a startup again. 3 days in, I was already like writing down ideas in a coffee shop in New York, because it was like so inspiring and motivating. And they were like, you have permission to be yourself. And I was like, I've needed to hear this my whole life, you know. So I thought it was incredible, and I just got that energy from the founders too, because they were coming back like to the hotel and they were like, oh my God, when the guy said this and he said this, and they were like, I just felt that. And I was like, yeah, the energy is great here. You know, if I didn't have 4 dogs in a house in Spain, I'd be like moving to New York.
I know, and they love dogs. There was dogs everywhere. I know, there was dogs literally everywhere.
But yeah, it was great, and I think it was all about network. It's not about going there and getting someone to write you a check. It's about going there and talking to the right people who are connected to other people, and just forming bonds that will outlast like check writing and whatever else. Like, people that you can go and say, hey, kind of pick your brain for half an hour. How did you fix this problem? And I felt like the teams walked away with like so many contacts and just such enthusiasm, and like they had permission to be confident. And
they did. There was definitely a shift. So there was, and I think the Irish connection over there is very strong with our friends in Digital Irish. You know, back to the point you said of working rooms. They just destroyed it. They spoke to everybody in that room in the Digital Irish conference. So I love it. I want to go back.
I've never seen a room full of such confident Irish people. Like, we're normally just so reserved, and you don't talk about yourself and like, you know, whatever. And I just loved it. I was like, oh, there it is. So yeah, that was one of the big moments for me.
It's brilliant. But the one side that we had to kind of deal with when we came back was some of the teams are like, don't want to raise venture money, scared of this, might go angel this perspective, might do that. Like, how did you feel about that with speaking to some of the teams after? Because adventure's not right for every company.
It's not right for every company. I think I won't name the company, but there was one particular company we went to and they had just raised so much. But like the founders didn't really it's like they didn't have energy left for anything but the business. And I think some of the teams came out that day and said, I don't think I want that. That seems hard.
Yeah.
And there was other founders who were very honest and saying like, they didn't get to see their kids as much or whatever. And we had five companies on the program who had young children.
Yeah.
So it does make you think differently about like, wait, what business am I building? Is it a lifestyle business? Am I fitting it in around this? Or am I trying to go for the millions, billions? And do I have that support system that's going to actually allow me to do that? So I think people went away with questions. And but then for the ones that were able to answer those questions, they came out the gate stronger, right? They were like, no, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like I've sort of run through it all in my head and it is the right thing and I'm gunning for it. And I think that was really, really important to challenge people with those realities,
Oh yeah, big time. So how does a founder know that they are venture potential? They kind of run on from that point.
We tell them.
Yes, we sit down and we figure it out with them. But how do they know? Because like a lot of teams come to us outside of the program, in the program, and go, okay, so like how do I get investors like you did? How do I know that I am a venture opportunity?
I think you really have to understand the market that you're in, and you really need to look at what's happening in the world around those markets. We talk about like emerging markets or markets that are untapped, and then we look at, there's so many markets now that investors are focusing on, and they're honest about that. If you're following the investors online, you'll see that like, suddenly they're really getting into biotech, or they're telling you, hey, we're getting into biotech. Like you need to know what's out there around what you're doing. And you'll also see investors doing like podcasts like this, and they'll let things slip, and they'll say, if I see one more company doing X, Y, and Z, like if you're not listening to that stuff, like you're missing out on information that's vital to making decisions. As well as that, I just don't think you should assume that you're a venture until you've sat down with people that know some stuff that can actually tell you that how to make your company venture, if it's even possible. And whether or not like it's worth, and then again, you have to think about whether or not you want to scale like that. So yeah, conversations, market research, all that lovely stuff.
If you had to give a piece of advice to a founder applying for Founder Labs to go on the program, what would it be?
Don't tell me you're just in it for the 25K. Like if you haven't,
that's just part of it. That's just part of it.
If you're putting in applications and you haven't talked to at least one of us, you're doing yourself a terrible disservice. Like, because I've already seen applications come in, and probably out of, 70% of the ones that have come in, we haven't had a conversation with someone yet. And it's very obvious in their application. And unfortunately, they're just now, at the mercy of whatever comes in after. But for the people who have taken the time, they've talked to you, they've talked to me, they're turning up to the events in Derry or here in Belfast tonight, they're talking to Ian, they're talking to, I've even had our former cohort say, such and such reached out to me because they wanted to understand, the intensity of the program. And I'm like, yes, these are people that are like understanding if this is right for them. Like, it's not on us to just pick you and then hope that you're going to come in and like want to do this. We need to know that you want to do this. And that will come across in your application. You can attach a deck and you can now attach a video. People are putting applications in without attaching a video. Why wouldn't you give it everything that you've got that we're giving you? So I think it's really, really important that like you try and have a chat, that you really take care of the application. There's guidelines now beside every question. Like it's hard to go wrong given how much support we're giving during this recruitment process. But you will go wrong if you just decide you don't need any of that and you know best, and you're just going to submit an application and wing it and hope and pray that, it's special.
A lot of people do say the 25 grand. That's a nice, but it's just part of the program. There's so much more. There's the travel we've talked about. There's going through with EIRs, being kind of someone that you can chat to on a weekly basis and kind of keeping you accountable. I think that's a big thing that we kind of push forward. How important is that?
It's vital, really. you don't get to come every week and go, oh yeah, I just haven't done that yet. Like there will be people saying, well, like why not? Like this 25K is participation based. If you are barely showing up or you're showing up but you're not really making progress, you don't necessarily get the full 25K. You know, that's paid in tranches across the 6 months of the program. So it really isn't here for people who think they're just going to walk in, cash a check, and then, you know, fade into the background.
Yep.
There are only 10 companies. We will see everything that you're doing. We will know your working style. We'll know whether you're a morning person or an evening person. We'll know everything about you. We'll know like what time you have to go pick up your kids. Like we're in this together, and we're all trying to come out like winning. Yeah. And we're not here to watch you fail. We're here to make it happen. So, you know, make success happen. So it's really, really important that you want to be in that and you understand the participation piece.
Love it. We'll go 24/7 if they go 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. My WhatsApp was like off the hook last year, and I thought, well, I don't even mind. You know, somebody texted me at 9 o'clock at night asking me a question, because at least I know their brain's still functioning. And it's very clear to me. Like I'll know usually within the first couple of weeks which of the companies are going to come out of this a success and which are probably not going to put in maximum effort. And you get out what you put in, so you can't be surprised if things don't work out if you didn't try.
100%. So a couple of things to round us off. What are you most excited about Cohort 4? Demo day?
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, we get to go back to New York again.
Yeah,
hopefully
true.
For New York Tech Week.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I love our London trips, Dublin trips, because we get exposed to so much more of the ecosystem, right? Like down to Dogpatch Labs and up to the AMP and everything. So I love that part of it, but it's not just all fun and games, right? I can't wait to see who the 10 companies are going to be. Because like what I'm seeing right now, the conversations I'm having,
talent's good.
It's kind of a game changer this year.
Talent's good.
AI has really like shifted the needle.
Yeah.
So I really don't know who they're going to be. And I'm just hoping some of the ones that I have my eye on actually put their application in.
Nice. So we go through Cohort 4, demo day is done, we go back to Spain. What are you going to build? What are you working on?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I feel like Spain is like an emerging market for startup. You know, there's a lot of opportunity there. And I'm in Valencia, right? So, and there's a huge like kind of startup scene. The nomad visa changed the game as well last year. We're seeing a lot of talent come in. So I'd like to be involved more in the startup side in Valencia. And I've got a few things up my sleeve.
All secret at the moment?
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I haven't really sat down and mapped them all out yet, but I've got.
It'll be revealed. It'll be revealed in time.
Revealed.
Love it. Okay, I think that's a nice place to end. Office hours are still open, so you can come chat to me and Orla at the moment for Cohort 4. If you've any questions about anything, just reach out to us. From an investment point of view, we are here to chat.
Yeah.
So we are. So I want to say thank you so much. Massively appreciate it. And let's rock and roll for Cohort 4.
Yep. Woohoo.
Awesome.
Thank you.